So joining me, like I said I would on Financial Tuesdays, is Mr. Mwai Kihu, who is with the Kenya Association of Investment Groups. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
All right, why don't we start off with this? What is the Kenya Association of Investment Groups?
The Kenya Association of Investment Group, as it says, is really an association of investment groups that was formed 5 years ago. We were 5 years on April 24 this year. And the whole idea was to get chamas or investment groups have an association that addresses their issues.
Yeah.
Things that they find difficult to do, the association will help them to do, starting with registration. Some don't know how to register, and we advise that you get registered. Some do not know where to go for that. Some have no idea what kind of money should we put in this association. Some are not as serious as we would like them to be, because they are an answer to one of our problems in this nation, economic development.
Yes, they are.
Mobilizing capital to invest for growth. I think we have the best opportunity through chamas, because as an individual, our pockets are shallow, and we tend not to give investment and savings a priority. When you come as a group, we advocate that you come as a group. We help you with training. That's probably the biggest benefit you get from the association as far as I'm concerned. We have monthly training sessions, which we never fail. And we train you on all things from managing the group, investing where every month. We then also take them for investment tours. If there is something good that is going on, a real estate being advertised on offer, we would organize trips. We also help them with issues like meeting place.
Okay, have you found that to be an issue, like where to meet?
Yeah. Most groups will find them meeting in restaurants, in bars, noisy places, and they become less of a business meeting when they're in such places. So we help them even with a meeting place.
Wow.
But a big one is the issue of network.
How to network with other groups, perhaps?
With other groups,
yeah.
With individuals, people with more experience than you have, people who are doing better than you are. So you get answers to your problems that you find in your group. And though we say investing as a group is the answer, they are also, of course, more difficult to manage than the way you manage your own money.
Absolutely.
So you are dealing with interpersonal relationships in a group, and we help them to manage that. We also present ourselves, we are a group that will advocate, lobby for groups. Because of our existence, we have things like very friendly chama accounts in banks. The reason why you find them coming up with all banks is because most of these banks are corporate members of the Kenya Association of Investment Groups. So there are a lot of benefits of being in the association. We are now registering chamas for free.
Oh, wow.
You know, we've been asking for a fee so that we run the association with it. But we have realized we really must loop in chamas more quickly than we have done. So we've made that free. But there are some benefits that you will only get when you upgrade your membership to paid. And one of them is the big one, which is investing together.
All right. Yeah. Well, membership, I read, currently stands at 1,000 200 through 86 registered chamas or groups and a combined asset exceeding 20 billion shillings. That's a whole lot of money.
We have big and small chamas.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Now, another question that I have is there a right or wrong time to join an investment group?
There's never a wrong time, and the right time is today.
And then I guess my next question is pretty much straightforward as well. It's never too early to join one as well. I mean, was there an age limit or...
The moment you are over 18, and we are actually even going to universities, we are encouraging students to form investment groups inside institutions of education. From age 18, you ought to be a member of an investment group. So the earlier the better. Because what we are addressing when all is said and done is managing your economic affairs as an individual. And the earlier you start, because as an individual, we only give you a grace period, which is age 0 to 18. From age 18, you ought to be managing your economic affairs to the day you leave this world. And most people who live long, the last 15 to 20 years, you will not be in a position to earn.
Yes.
So between age, say for example, between age 18 and 65, we want you to pay your bills. All your bills beyond age 65, you pay before age 65. That's the best reason I can give anybody for investing, so that you pay all your bills. There's nobody else who should take responsibility of paying your bills, both now and after you are unable to earn.
Okay. Well, some more questions for you, Mr. Mwai Kihu. Of course, he is with the Kenya Association of Investment Groups. All about your chama. Any questions that you might have, kindly send them in right now to 0720 0734 984 984. Also, I'll be asking him about making decisions. All these questions, you can also tweet at 984 in the morning. Just hashtag chama so that we know what it is you are, what your question is in regards to. With Mr. Mwai Kihu, who is from the Kenya Association of Investment Groups. He is a board member of the Kenya Association of Investment Groups. He's also the CEO of Kenya Productivity Institute, which is a management and investment consultancy firm, and MD of Fechem Investments, which is an investment group as well. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. And we are talking about investment groups or chamas, of course, to rate the success of investment groups, because investment groups are formed in Kenya every day. Why is it, Mr. Kihu, that so many fail, whereas there are those that succeed?
If you ask about success rate, I can tell you it's poor, and indeed the reason for the existence of the association. One of the reasons why the association was formed is because we were very concerned about the mortality rate. Chamas come up and die after 2-3 years, mainly because they don't see the way forward. They don't agree on what to do with the money. They were probably formed wrong, because these days I advise groups, before you form, you must state where you are going. You know, are you just drinking mates? Because that's not business.
No.
You know, are you just family? You can't form business based just family, because they are probably not the right people to form a business. So you must state what you want to do with that group. It's a company you are forming. Where are you going? And that the answer to that question is so critical, because it actually determines how you behave. If you are probably forming a company to last a year, then you behave differently from the one who is forming a company to last 5 years. If you form a company to do what I normally advocate, to give Kenya a multinational by the time you leave this world, you leave a multinational that you are proud of. That is the reason why Kenya Association of Investment Group was formed, to help chamas with these problems that make them fail. And there are many. And most important is determination of what you are about. Most important is to realize that it is your responsibility to develop the self and to develop your country and this continent. You are going to hear from almost everybody in the world now that Africa is a place to be.
Yes, it is indeed.
Africa is the continent of the 21st century. It was the continent to colonize 150 years ago.
Yeah.
And those who are, outside players playing in Africa.
Yeah.
Now outside players are coming to play in Africa, to invest in Africa. And we don't want to just be the people who sit on the terraces and we are comparing Chinese versus Europeans versus Americans, and we don't say where we are playing.
And we are here.
Yes.
And we have numbers.
And since generally our pockets are shallower than those who got into the investment many centuries ago, we have to come together.
Yeah.
We have to bring the coins out of our pockets and join so that we play in the league. We don't just observe Chinese. We don't just observe Europeans or Americans. We play with them in the game of investment. Hence, our determination that the best route is through groups, so that we combine our money and we discipline ourselves, because lack of discipline is one of the biggest killers of groups. People are not contributing when they say they will contribute. People are not attending meetings. So we normally train groups on how to handle all these things. And we've realized after training them for the last 5 years, indeed 3 years ago they said that you are doing so well, you are training us so well, it sounds so sweet. But when we go back to groups, we still don't seem to be implementing what we have learned well. And they ask, can you invest for us? Mm-hmm. And that's when we came with the biggest benefit now chamas are seeing in being in KIG. We incorporated a company which you are calling Amalgamated Chama Limited, which is a chama of chamas, in which chamas buy shares, and then it can invest for them. It can invest in the areas that the chamas find difficulty, either because of lack of capital, areas that are requiring much more capital than chamas can raise, areas that are requiring skills that you do not find in chamas generally. And that's where the amalgamated chama is going. That's the recent excitement with the chamas is buying shares.
Yeah.
Some chamas are choosing to outsource investment to Amalgamated Chama Limited, so that it does all the investment decisions for them. Others are just putting in a portion of what they have. So the answer to your question about success rate, it's been low, it's been bad, and that's hence the existence of KAIG. And it has helped many to form properly, to register properly, and cheaply, because we have like law firms that give some chama-friendly fees, charge fees that
interesting,
are lower than they would ordinarily charge if you walked into their offices. And once the groups are formed right and they are disciplined and they define their mission, there's nothing as important as defining your mission. If you define your mission to develop Africa, and in the process, of course, individually you make your own money, you receive the check in your old age every month, every year, when the dividends are declared by the company that you formed. If you formed to develop yourself, the nation, and the continent, and we are really going continent-wide, I might as well mention.
Yes, we were talking about that.
Amalgamated Chama Limited is born made in Kenya, but it's not Kenyan. It's got a continental ambition. We are recruiting from each capital in Africa and 10 other countries that we deemed most important in the diaspora by virtue of the populations that they are hosting from Africa, led by US, France, Britain, in that order. 10 of them. We are recruiting champions who will convince our people in diaspora that they better not let the other races be the investors in Africa. Let them send the dollars and the euros back to Africa through Chamas.